Oh, there should be some there. Okay, thank you. How many people have gotten to B and done it? I'm just curious. Some people are working on C. Do you want to stop now, or do you want to stop? Okay. All right. Let's just then we'll keep on doing this like a regular. Okay. So, okay, let's do problem 2. So, A part is extremely straightforward, I think. No. Okay. So when x is 38, you just have to compare A versus B, right? So, how many people got the condensate winner being C when x is 38? Yeah. Okay. Is it clear why? Right. You just do the comparisons like A versus C between A and C. Oh, sorry, I did A versus B. Between A and B, and 38 people vote for A, and 63 people vote for B. Does that make sense? Why A? So B beats A. Did you guys get that? Yeah. Now I do A versus C. Between A and C, 38 people vote for A, 63 vote for C, so C beats A. Yeah. And then between B and C, 38 vote for B, 63 vote for C, so C beats B. So C beats A and B, so therefore we have the condensate winner is C. How many people got that? Okay, that's pretty good. Any questions about that? How that works? Yeah. Sorry?
Can you re-explain that? Because I compared them.
Okay, so condensate is all about pairwise comparisons. Okay, so remember, something's a condensate winner if you can beat everything else by majority. Okay, so we have to see, for example, whether C beats B and A. Okay, so let's go B versus C. If I do B between B and C, how many people are going to vote for B? Well, these people in this group, that is 38 people like B better than C. 63 people like C better than B. Oh, so 38 people like B better than C. 63 people like C better than B. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So therefore, majority like C better than B. Yes?
Is it reckless to just look at group 2 being larger and then C?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah.
And just knowing that C is going to be dominant.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here, this group 2 is just a majority, right? So if the majority of people like C best, and so C is going to be a condensate winner, that's also totally okay. That's not reckless. That makes sense. Okay. Any questions about that? How C is a condensate winner? Okay. How about the border count winner? Did you guys get C too? Okay, how did you do that? You just do the point system, right? How many people got this, the border count winner? Okay. All right, so you just do 2, 1, and 0, right? So A gets 2 times 38, which is 76. Oh, where's the, here's my border count thing. B gets 38, so 1 point from here, and then 63, so 101. C gets 2 points from here, so it's 126. Yeah.
So in border, so like I just want to clarify, like every worst gets 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
go from like 0 then up, not like.
Right. But we talked about this briefly. If I did 3, 2, 1, it's the same. You end up the same thing, because it's just giving an extra vote to everybody. Right? So if you end up doing it that way, that's okay. But yeah, but typically it's 2, 1, 0. Yeah. Or there's like 5 candidates. It's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah.
Isn't it kind of better to do like n-1 for the formula like n-1 just because of like it depends on how many like candidates you have?
Yeah. Oh, right. All I'm saying though is, okay. For example, it was 654. That would be wrong, right? If your point system is 654. So the way I defined it was 2, 1, 0. But if you happen to, I hope this isn't confusing. If I happen to do 3, 2, 1 like this, it ends up being the same thing, right? Because all you're doing is every single person gets an extra vote from everybody. You see what I'm saying? It's like, for example, if I did 20, 10, 0, would that be the same thing? Would I get the same answer? Yeah, right? It's just like every point gets counted. Is this confusing? Right? It's like saying, if I play a game and I take every payoff and multiply it by 10, everything's the same, right? Here, just every point, instead of every point, I have 10 points. So similarly, instead of 2, 1, 0, I could have done 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's the same thing as every getting one the same. Yeah?
Why would 654 be wrong?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it would be the same for the same reason. Yeah, you're right. I guess you're right. It would also be correct. 654 would be correct. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right, but with the definition, we'll stick with 2, 1, 0. That's probably the safest thing. Okay, border count winner C. Any questions about that? Okay, how about approval voting? Did you guys get B? Okay, that makes sense because like everyone likes B a little bit. So approval voting is 1, 1, 0, right? So I think B gets 101 approval votes. A gets 38, C gets 63. Okay, any questions about that? Yeah.
this one for like if we voted for the top two candidates, if we wanted to do approve of voting for the top three candidates, it would be a tie.
Right. Yeah. But I do say so here. Like here, approval voting means each voted. So right.
So I was just making sure. Like,
Yeah, you're
we
exactly.
said three people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I will be careful about that. I'll try to specify. Okay. All right. So this is straightforward, I think. Okay. This is really just knowing what the definitions of those voting things are. Okay. All right. So the B part is starting to get a little complicated. How many people think this is crazy when you do this problem? Okay. All I can say is you can do it mathematically, or you can just sort of play around with it. Okay. And generally, playing around with it is okay. So if I just look at this, okay, just look at this. So I'll talk to you the play around way. Okay. Is it possible for the Condorcet winner to be different for the board account winner? Okay. Well, what will the Condorcet winner be? And this is kind of the idea. Like, so if this instead of 38, this is just X people. Okay. So there's just two groups of society, right? So the Condorcet winner will be determined by what? Yeah, which group is bigger? That's all, right? Essentially, right? If this group is a majority, group 2 is a majority, like the one we just did, then C will be the Condorcet winner. If this group has the majority, then A will be the Condorcet winner. Okay, that's very simple. Okay, so you can do it that way, or you can do it like math ways, which is if I'm doing Condorcet, I'm looking for A versus B, A versus C, B versus C. I'm doing these comparisons. So if I do A versus B, is it? Yeah, can you see it? So between A versus B, X people will vote for A, and 101 minus X people will vote for B. Do you see that? Right, so there's X people here, 101 minus X people here. Okay. Between A and C, X people vote for A, and 101 minus X people vote for C. Between B and C, X people vote for B, and 101 minus X people vote for C. So if you want to do it the math way, to see what will be the Condorcet winner, you just say, for A to be the Condorcet winner, this number has to be bigger than this, and this number has to be bigger than this. Does that make sense? So I do that here. So if X is big, if this number is bigger than this, and this big number is bigger than this, that means A beats B and C by majority. So in other words, X is bigger than 101 minus X, and I do some math. That's saying that 2X is bigger than 101, which is the same thing as X is bigger than 50.5, but X has to be a whole number. So that means that X has to be bigger than equal to 51. Does that make sense? Okay, yes?
Is it greater than or equal to, or is it just greater than?
That's a good point. So you have 2x to be bigger than 101. So this is the same thing as x is bigger than 50.5. So if x has to be greater than 50 or greater than or equal to 51. If x is, does that make sense? Because it's a whole number. Yeah. Okay, does that make sense? But this is simply another way of saying, like, if there's 101 people, which is the bigger group? The bigger group will sort of turn on whether x is around 50. Does that make sense? Yeah, just half, right? If x is 51 or more, then this group will be the majority, right? Does that make sense? And therefore, A will be the Condorcet winner. If x is less than 51, that is 50 or lower, then this will be the majority, and therefore, C will be the Condorcet winner. Okay, it's as simple as that. Does that make sense? Okay, so I wrote that down somewhere. Okay, so if x is greater than or equal to 51, A is the Condorcet winner. If x is less than 50, then C is the Condorcet winner. And I made a little table right here. This is a nice little graph. So this is x here. So when x is less than 50, C is the Condorcet winner. And x is 51 or greater, then A is the Condorcet winner. Does that make sense? How many people got that? How many people didn't get it but understand it now, kind of? Okay, that's good. Does that make sense? How many people still don't know what the hell? Okay, what's the question? Does it make sense? No? Does it help when I say? Yeah. Either.
For me, I would say I'm kind of struggling with, like, 'cause you were saying that you're, like, gonna play around with it, and it seems like you have to, like, kind of make things into, like, a big scale in order to get an answer. Is there, like, any, I guess, faster way to get, like, the answer?
Well, kind of, yeah.
Do you have an example of like a written response?
Sorry, okay.
Like a written response instead of like abstract mathematical?
Oh, random thing? Well, okay, I'll do it another way in a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it? Yeah. Does it come over here?
Oh, yeah,
No, we haven't answered the question yet. We haven't finished the question. Answer the question. Okay, so, all right. This is another way in which you can answer this question. So one way is to look at it and just see, realize there's two groups and see which one is bigger. The other way is to just throw x in there. Like, okay, I did x is 38. What if I make x 60? Okay, if x is 60, then I can do the same thing, right? If x is 60, who's going to be the Condorcet winner? A, right? Because you can just do it, right? You just compute it the same way. Then you say, what about if x is 60 because this is bigger, no group is bigger than this, and so A will be the Condorcet winner. Then you say x is 10. If x is 10, who's the Condorcet winner? C, right? So one way to do anything these problems with the x is you just throw things in there and see if you can find the pattern, just sort of understand it. Does that make sense? Of course, you're not going to do that for 101 times, but once you do that, you'll see it. You'll get to kind of see. Does it make sense? All that it's saying is that the Condorcet winner depends on which of these groups is bigger. That's it. And once you put lots of x's in there, you'll see it. Okay, we haven't done that yet. The border count in some sense is easier. Okay, but anyways, does that make sense? Okay, let's do the border count now. How do I do the border count? The border count's a 210 thing, right? So how many border count points does A get? Well, 2 times x plus 0, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so I wrote that down. Border count, A gets 2x. How many does B get? Well, 1 from x, right? 1 from this group and 1 from here. So altogether, B gets how many border count points? 101, right? Does that make sense? It's just x plus 101 minus x. How many border count points does C get? Well, 2 times 101 minus x. Yeah? Because C gets 2 points from here. So you just have these expressions. These are the border count things. Okay, so the math way is to just say for A to be the border count winner, this number has to be bigger than this, and this has to be bigger than that. Okay, so that's what I did here. 2x has to be bigger than 101, and 2x has to be bigger than this, and that ends up being x has to be bigger than or equal to 51. Okay, yeah.
Calculators aren't allowed on the final.
No. No digital anything. Okay. Yes?
Is it ever possible for B to be the Condorcet winner?
No, I think not. No. And based on what we did here. Yeah. Okay. All right, does this make sense? So this is the math way of doing it, to find the border count. Does it make, first of all, is it clear how I got these border count points? Yes. Is it clear how I got A to be the border count winner when 2x is bigger than 101 and 2x is bigger than this? Yeah? That's what those are these expressions here. Okay? And then I just math them down to be x to be bigger than or equal to 51. Okay? Yeah.
So can I get that explanation in words, like for the Condorcet winner? You said that it depends on which group is bigger, so like which group has the majority.
Yeah.
So like that's how you said it in words. So can I get the order?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so anyway, but this is the border count with math. Okay, if I don't want to do that, I'm just thinking about this. I'm saying, okay, I'm looking at this and looking at the border count thing. So one thing which is nice is the border count for B is the same no matter how many people are in each group, right? Border count B will always get 101 border count points, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so for example, if A is small, sorry, if X is small, if this group is small, will A be the border count winner? No, right? For example, if X is like 25 or 30, A will get like 60 points, right? And therefore, B will always beat it. Does that make sense? Yeah? So if this group is small, B will always get 101 border points, so there's no way A can be the border count winner, right? If this group is small, then it's all about this, and who will be the border count winner? C. Does that make sense? Okay, so you kind of think about it that way, and that's another way to think about it. Yeah?
It's not possible for the Condorcet winner to be different than the border.
Yeah. So, okay, that's the punchline. But, so, yes, if I mathed it away, I found that A is the border count winner when X is bigger than or equal to 51. C is the border count winner when X is less than or equal to 50. So I have this over here. So the border count winner is A when X is bigger than or equal to 51, C when it's less than or equal to 50, and therefore the Condorcet winner and border count always coincide. Yeah?
Can you go back to the math on the other page?
Sure. This is all on the website too. But yeah. So this is just my mathy way of doing it. Okay, but how about is there another word way? Do you want me to do another word way? Or do you want to just see this? Okay, yes.
And that's just like basically like whichever group has the highest number of population that top of them.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Exactly. So, Kind of. So, I mean, another way to think of it is this, okay? This is another way of thinking about it. Again, B gets 101 border count points, always. So, if this group is small, so it's basically A will win if 2x is bigger than 101. That's it, right? Makes sense? So all you have to do is check that x is, this group is large enough. Another way to think about it is to look for the x in which the thing changes over. Does that make sense? Like the kind of the cutoff point for when x, right between 50 and 51 is when this group becomes, when x is less than 50, then this is the small group. When x is 51, then this becomes the bigger group. And then you can just kind of play around with that way. Okay, does it make sense? Yeah.
So if you were to get the conclusion right that like it's not possible, but you did the work, like if the work didn't quite make sense, but you still get 45.
Yeah, so for example, if you said something like the Condorcet winner only depends on the largest group since there's only two groups, okay? And I also show that it's never the case that, so the border count winner is always the one which the largest group wants. And if you can explain that, and then therefore they're the same, that would be okay. Yeah. Okay. Another wordy kind of thing would be something like, the border count winner switches over between A and C when x is 50 and 51, okay? And therefore, it switches over the same time as the Condorcet winner, therefore they're the same. Yeah.
Sorry, so is it possible for B to be the border count?
No. As far as I can tell.
Can you explain why?
Let's think about that. Okay, so if x is really small, A is surely the border count winner, right? Sorry, C is surely the kind of border count winner, right? If group 1 is small, then C is surely the border count winner, right?
I'm sorry, I thought that I calculated the way that
So I can hear what?
if it's less than 1, I found that 1 and 1 is greater than the equation of C.
Right, okay, but so the way to think about it is this. Okay, if x is less than 51, then C gets the most border count points, I think, right? Is that what you got? Right. If x is bigger than, so if x is 50 or less, C gets the most border count points. If x is 51 or most, then A gets the most border count points. And so the only time B might have a shot is right when x is around 50 or 51. Okay, but it never quite gets there. That's kind of a way to think about it. Okay, yeah.
It makes sense logically, but are we going to be referring to solve it mathematically?
I mean, there's many ways of solving this problem. You have to just do it in a way which is convincing. Yeah. So, but I don't think this is that hard a problem. I got to say. I mean, I don't think it's a crazily hard problem. No.
It might as well be calculus.
Might as well be. Okay. I think everyone in this room should be able to understand how to do this problem at least. The other ones are harder, but does this make sense? Even if you don't like algebra and inequalities and stuff like that, I think this makes sense, right? No? You can stop me, yeah.
So I feel like the way I kind of understood it is because there's like two groups, there's always going to be one group and majority compared to the other.
Right.
So like, say if there were three groups, would it then be like possible for there to be one?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So that's the next, some more stuff. Yeah.
Can you just repeat one more time the answer?
Oh,
Like,
the answer is that
just one more time.
there is no case in which for no x is the Condorcet winner different from the border count winner. That's the answer. So this is what I wrote down. There is no value of x which makes the Condorcet winner and border count winner different. That's the answer.
And because there's only two groups.
Yeah, because when x is 51 or is bigger, A is the Condorcet winner and A is the border count winner. When x is 50 or lower, then C is the Condorcet winner and C is the border count winner. So there's never a discrepancy between those two things. That's all I'm saying. Does it make sense? Another way to say it is when there's only two groups, it doesn't matter whether you chose Condorcet or the border count procedure. It'll give you the same thing. Okay? We all set? Okay, I think the next problem is pretty okay too. Let's try doing that. And then we'll do on another one because it gets harder. Let's do C. Give that a shot. Yeah.
Did you just say that when you have two groups, the Condorcet and border count are always the same?
No, I didn't say that all the time. But in this particular one. But you see how we figured it out.
Yes.
Okay. How many people have done it? I'm just curious. Oh, okay, that's good. Do you want me to go over it, or do you want more time? This is kind of a trick question in a way. This question kind of takes 30 seconds if you just think about it the right way. Okay?
It's the same as, kind of the same.
It's kind of the same. So, do you want me to talk about it, or do you want more time? We'll talk about it. Okay, in this case, who is the approval voting winner? Always. B. Does that make sense, right? Because B gets a vote from everybody, and A and C doesn't, right? Yeah, so B is always the approval voting winner. Okay, is B ever the Condorcet winner? No, we just figured that out. Okay? That's from here. The end. Okay? Does that make sense? So yeah, so it is not possible. That's all you have to say. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, so another way to think of, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to know, like, 'cause you were just saying, like, no, but it always says explain why not.
Yeah, that would
I'm,
be,
like, writing out full sentences. Should we not do that?
I mean, I wouldn't go
We just
overboard.
put, like, no.
No, an answer is no would not be sufficient. I would try to explain it. Because then we're not sure why you make your answer. But sufficient would be something like, you know, you could do the approval voting, like, so for example, A gets gets X points, B gets 101, C gets 101 minus X. So say that B is always the approval voting winner. You could say that. And then from part A, we found that B is never the Condorcet winner. That would be sufficient. Yeah, does that make sense? So this is a pretty doable problem too. It just kind of throws you a little bit. Yeah. A lot of the problems, well, a fair number of problems in the exam will be like that, in the sense that they'll be kind of like little curveballs, and the whole thing is like how to swing at it. Does it make sense? Kind of, right? You want to kind of try to think about it, how to approach it in a clever way. Yes.
Can we explain this answer by saying that there's a polarization of votes that A and C are like on the extreme ends?
Right.
Can we
Yeah. That's kind of a cool way of thinking about it too. I mean, the way to think about it is like, yeah, A and C are kind of the extremes, right? Or B is by everyone. So therefore, you could say approval voting is one of those things which tries to look for kind of compromise candidates. So this is exactly the case where B kind of approval voting is. That's why B is different. The approval voting winner is different from A and C because A and C are kind of like polarizing things.
Condorcet only goes off of their best vote, right? And then-
Condorcet is always based on the majority, like pairwise majority. There's no points or anything.
There's no points. It's always their favorite candidate.
Right.
They can never be the middle candidate.
Right. Well, okay, look. Between, for example, I'm looking at A and B. For example, as the Condorcet, A beats B, but B beats A. Here, it's not about the placement. It's just simply whether A is better than B and B is better than A in everyone's preferences. Does that make sense? It's not. So the comparison between A and B doesn't have anything to do with where the B and A are in the preference ranking. That's all. Just a relative position. Does it make sense? Okay. Shall we go on? The next problems are harder, so I'll just talk about it, and you can. Do you want to do it, or we can move to? Maybe we should move on to the next ones. But this one now, take a look at this. This kind of has exactly what someone said. Now the ABC and BAC. Now these are the kind of extreme groups. Now there's kind of a middle group in the middle. Oh, sorry, I take it back. These are the two extreme groups, right? AB and CBA. Now there's like a compromised group of 5 people who like B a lot. Okay, so now you're also going to look at like what happens when X changes. Do you want to do those, or should we move on? Do this one? Okay. Let's just do D, and then we'll move on. No? Okay. Because it does get complicated. I just want to make sure we cover. Or do you want to do it? Yes. Can you actually do it? Like show you how to do it? Okay. All right. Let's do it. Maybe you do it on the board. All right. If X is 38, so let's see. This is what is it? 96 minus X? That's CBA. Then 5 is BAC. If X is 38, this is what, 40? Oh, 58. This is fine. Okay, let's do Condorcet. Between A and B, how many votes does A get? Between A and B, 38, right? Only this group votes get A. How many does B get? Everyone else, right? Which is 63, is that right?
Yeah.
Because B is 63. So we have B beats A. Okay. How about A versus C? How many vote for A? 38, right? And 5, so that's 43. How many vote for C? 58, right? So we have C beats A. How about B versus C? 38 and 5, right? 43. 50. Okay, so C beats B. Does that make sense? You guys get that? Who's the Condorcet winner? C. Okay. Does that make sense? Why? Again, you can do it the same way, right? When X is 38, 58 is bigger than the rest of everyone else, right? So this is just the majority, so C is the Condorcet. Okay, who's the body count winner? We'll just do a little math. How many body count points does A get? 76, right? Plus 5, 81. Thank you. This is the board. B gets how many points? 38 here, right? Plus 58 here. That's fine. Oh, sorry. 10, thank you. And this is 106, right? Is that right? Yeah, okay, thank you. And C gets how many points? 0 from here. 116? Huh?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So C gets 116 points. So who's the body count winner? C. Okay, how about approval voting? The top two. Okay, A gets how many votes? What? 38 and 5, yeah? 43. B gets how many votes? He gets everybody, right? 101. C gets how many votes? 58. So who's the board count winner? So the approval voting winner? Okay. I consider everyone in this class should be able to do that. I don't consider that a problem, right? Yes? Yeah. Okay, again, the Condorcet winner means you can beat everyone else by majority, right? So what you do there is you basically do every pairwise comparison. Okay, so I'm looking first at A versus B. Okay? So if I had an election between A and B, how many people would vote for A over B? Well, it's people who like A better than B. That's exactly these people, right? 38 people like A better than B. 58 like B better than A, and 5 like B better than A. So if we had A versus B, 38 would vote for A, 63 would vote for B. Therefore, B beats A by majority. Make sense?
And we're not allowed to use a non-graphic calculator?
No. I think that being able to add 58 plus 5 is not something that you require a calculator. Call me old-fashioned. It's like just if you have a really complicated math problem during the exam, talk to me and I'll give you the answer. But there should not. If there's something which involves some hugely mathematically complicated thing, you're probably on the wrong track. I will tell you that. Like if you look at all the old, well, it shouldn't be too much. There shouldn't be something where you need to reach for the calculator and multiply like a 3-digit number by 3-digit number or something like that. It should be crazy. Okay? All right. Anyway, is this clear? Want to see the Condorcet winner? Okay, so now say that X is unknown. Okay, it can be any number between. Is it possible the Condorcet winner to be different for the body count winner? Okay, wow. And you're kind of thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So just do some math. But think about it like, okay. Okay, remember now, you build on the examples you did before. If x is really, really large, who's going to be the condensate winner and the board account winner? If x is large. A, right? If x is really small, who's going to be the board account winner and the condensate winner? C. Does it make sense, right? So the only thing you have to really worry about is the x kind of right in the middle. So that's really a lot right there. You can almost say that, and you would get something. Right? Only x kind of in the middle will get, you see what I'm saying? Make sense? Okay. All right, so what would the middle be? Right around, exactly, right around when these are roughly equal, yeah? Let's do that. Let's do this in the more exploratory way. Less math. Okay, so when x is 48, okay, then who's going to be the condensate winner? Oh, actually, I just kind of erased stuff, right? If x is 48, did I say?
Don't A and C tie them?
Okay, let's think. Okay, if x is 48, between A and B, now, how many people vote for A? I think 48, right? How many people vote for B? Just 53, right? Yeah, for B, this. So B is bigger than A. B is bigger. How about A versus C? How many people vote for A? 48 plus 5 is 53. How many people vote for C? 48. So A, B, C. The B versus C. 48, right? Oh, how many people vote for B over C? 48 plus 5 is 53, right? And then 48 vote for C. So I think B beats C. Make sense? Did I make a mistake? I think it's okay. Yeah. Yes. What? Between B and C? Oh, why am I throwing it in there?
Yeah, why are you?
I'm just throwing it in there just to see what happens. Because I don't, I'm just guessing, I'm flailing at things like, what the heck, I'm just going to try 48. Because it kind of makes sense, right? It's kind of, that's one of the interesting things going to happen, right? When these groups are roughly the same. Okay. Because when one group is really large, clearly condensate winner and board account will be the same. Okay, so in this case, who's the condensate winner? I think we have B, right? Okay. How about the board account winner? Okay, how many points does A get? So that's the 210. Right? I think it's 96 plus 5, right? 101. He gets how many votes? 48 plus 48 plus 5 and 106. He gets how many? 96. Right? Okay, so who's the board account winner? B, right? Okay, makes sense. So in this case, we try something and it ended up being the same. So 48 was not going to do it for us. So, but we're getting kind of close, right? What kind of how would the condensate winner and the board account winner be different? Huh? Let's think. You can just try around with one, try 47 or something. 45. 46 works. Let's just try that. So, okay. So for 48, let's make a little table. I'll write it over here. In this case, when x is 48, if B is for the condensate winner. So let's try. You want to try 45 or 46? You want to try 46? Let's try 46. In this case, how many board account? Let's do the condensate winner first. If X is 46, how many, between A and B, how many people vote for A? 46. How many people vote for B? 55, right? B beats A. Between A and C, I think 51, yeah, vote for A. 50 vote for C. Okay. Between B and C, 51 vote for B and 50 vote for C. Make sense? So if A beats C, and then B beats C. So B is still the closest to right? You can see we're kind of getting close to C. This kind of things can flip around here. So okay, let's do the border count now. X is 46. How many does A get? What does A get? I think 92 plus 5, right? 97. B gets how many? 96 plus 10 is 106. C gets how many? 100, right? That's just 100, right?
Yeah.
Who's the border count winner? This is when X is 46. Right? Oh, let me see this. When Bx is small, who's the condensate winner? I think we said it's C, right? Because that's the second majority. Who's the border count winner? Also C, right? When X is large, who's the condensate winner? A. The border count winner is also. Oh, we're close though. Any other suggestions? Yeah.
I made X 49 and then 49 47. Is
Okay.
that possible?
X is 49.
Yeah.
What about 47?
And then 96 minus 49.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah, let's try that.
I have to, well, I have to answer, but I would say like working through it.
Okay.
I was just gonna say like, if we look at C, because C is gonna be last place
Right.
in the other two, so
Right.
B is always going to be 106 for the border count,
Right.
and C will, if C is less than, if the like if you do times two
Right.
the number of people in row or column B, the
Right.
second column.
Right.
Oh, well, the answer is 51 for C. It's C is 51.
The next
Then if X is, oh shoot. C
No, you're
no, C, yeah, so C equals 51, so 96 minus whatever X would get to get C to 51.
Okay, this is the idea. Okay, so, okay, so the first thing you said was 49, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this, what's happening here. Like, okay, so instead of keeping on doing this is why we use math. Like, okay, how many border count points will B get? Well, 106, no matter what X is. That makes sense, right? Because there's a 1 point in here, 1 point in here, so it doesn't matter, right? So math-wise, it would be, for example, if this X border count, we get B's border count would be X 96 minus X plus 5, right? That's 101. Make sense?
Isn't it plus 10?
10? Yeah. Oh, I'm 10, I'm sorry, you're right, thank you. Thank you. So it would be 106, exactly. So this is always going to be the same, that didn't change, yeah? That's good. So, and C only depends on what? The border count is just this, right? So if this number is 50 or less, then B will be the border count. Let's look at it. You can map it out. Let's want to try 49. Does it work?
No, I just wrote that if X is more than 48, then A is the conversation.
Okay. So, okay, let's try 49. Okay. I think, hold on a second. Just looking at this alone, can't I just find the answer? Just by looking at this picture, just what I've written up here. Look, A just barely beats C and B barely beats C, right? So to make C the condensate winner, what do I have to do? Make this group just a little bit bigger, yeah? I think that's what we were saying, right? No?
Well, it's C. Are we talking about C or are we talking about?
Okay, look. Okay, well, my intuition, which might not be right, is this. Okay, look, right now, B is the condensate winner and B is the board count winner, right? If I make, because A and B both barely beat C, if I make this group, this is when X is 46. If I make this group just a little bit bigger, then C will beat A and B. Yeah? But B will still be the board count. That's my idea. Okay? And so before X is 46 and this is 50, so let's make this a little bit bigger, like 51. And this is 45. Okay? Make sense? Okay, so now here, in this case, between A and B, how many points how many does A get? 45. B gets how many? 56, right? B gets 10. Between A and C, A gets how many? 50. C gets 51. Between B and C, how many does B get? 50, right? C gets 51. So here, C beats A, C beats B. C is the condensate. Now how about this? Well, we just said, but B's border count is always 101. Oh, so 106. Thank you. Thank you. How many body count points does A get here? X is 45. 90 plus 5 is 95. How many does C get? 102. So here B is equal to. So so you can kind of just play around with it. So in this case, when X is 45, now the condensate winner is C. The border count winner is 30. So you can do this problem by just that alone, without any math. You just sort of look at where things change and kind of play around with it. Does that make sense? Okay. And the intuition again is you're looking for X kind of in the middle. Yeah.
So if we give any value of X is worth as
Well, okay, so give an example. Yeah, if so, give an example of X's makes it possible. So this would be sufficient for 4 points. Okay. So I did ask all X's make it possible, but this would be sufficient. Does that make sense? So you can solve this just by guessing and checking the same thing. Okay. 4? Okay. All right, any questions about let's go?
How concerned should we be about running out of time?
You should be okay. Most people don't run out of time in the past. Huh? Yeah, it's the midterm was 75 minutes, 4 problems. So 75. The final has 180 minutes over. So this is larger than this. It's generally okay. Yeah. I think it'll be okay. Does somebody have a final afterward? I'm just curious. Okay, all right. Okay. Show you problem 4. Let's do problem 4. Do you want to just do it, or do you want to? Okay. Okay. This is super straightforward, I think. Okay. Where is this? So X is 1, right? So it's is it 5 on 6? Okay, say that X is 1. This is 1, this is 4. Which of the four alternatives can be implemented by the council? Okay, so this is the agenda thing. So what's the first step you need to do when you do this? Yeah, exactly. Figure out who beats who. So between W and X,
This is a what?
you just figure out who beats what by majority. Okay, so between W and X, how many people vote for W? 3, 4, right? How many people vote for X? 3. Oh no, not this is not 4. It says 8, right? These 4 people. 4, 5. 2, right? And how many vote for X? I think 3. Okay, so W beats it. That makes sense? Okay, we're supposed to do W and Y. How many people would vote for W? 3, 4. How many people vote for Y? 3, 7. So Y beats W. Okay, W and Z. 3, 6, 7. Oh, everyone has W better than Z. Is that right? W is better than Z, W is better than Z. So W beats Z. Okay, how about X and Y? 3, 6, and Y is 5. X beats Y. X and Z. Let me go back for X. 3, 4. Good, hold on. And X and Z. So 3, 4. 2 and 3, 7. Z beats X. We don't know. No, we just. There should be 6, right? Oh, Y and Z, thank you. Between Y and Z, no, Z, 2. Y gets over. Y gets 3, 4. Okay, so these are things. Okay. Which of them can be implemented by the council? So this is all about the top cycle, that stuff. Can I implement W? Okay, how would I implement W? Okay. So I have to make that sequence. W beats has to beat something, right? Which beats W beats something, which is what? The result. Okay, W beats what? Z, right? Z beats X. X beats Y. Okay, that's all you have to do. So to make it into the agenda, you do this. Between X and Y, X would win. And between Z and not, Z would win. Between W and not, W would win. This implements W. Is that clear? Okay, this is straightforward. Everyone should be able to do this. Everyone understands this? This should be like real basic. Okay? Everyone should be able to. Okay, how do I implement? Oh, wait a minute. This. Just go right in. Okay, right. How do I implement? Can I implement X?
Yes.
Yes. X beats Y beats W, which beats Z. That's what it is. Right, so W, Y. So W and Z. Okay, how about Y? Okay, Y means what? W. Which beats X. Z, I think you need to get Z because, yeah. And then X beats.
What?
Yeah, there's Z.
Oh, we need you to Z, right? You, W beats Z. Okay. W beats Z, which beats X. Okay, so this will be good.
Wouldn't that be multiple agendas?
Yeah, there might be more than one. And finally, can I implement Z? Z beats what? X. Which beats Y. Which beats W. Y beats W, X beats. Any question about that? That should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so if you're already in the passing range if you did this problem in the right with this one. You see what I'm saying? You're kind of well into the passing range. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's do the next. Okay. Oh, this is great. I think we'll have time to do this one. Okay, is there an alternative that the council can implement regardless of the value of X? Okay, so obviously, depending on this value of X, it'll change the who beats what? Let's just check. Let's do between W and X. How many people vote for W? I think 3, right? X. So 3 plus X plus 5 minus X. Does that make sense? Those people vote for W over X. Yes? 3 X W over. So this number is just what? How many people vote for X? 3. So W beats X regardless of what this value of X is. That'll help us. How about W and Y? Okay, 3 people vote for W here, 3 for Y, X here, and 5 minus 6 here. So this is going to depend. This is 3 plus X, this is 8 minus X, so we don't know. Between W and Y, we don't know. Okay, between W versus C, okay. 3 people like here, 3 like C. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's 3 here, 3 plus X. And then 5 minus. Oh, no, hold on. Everyone likes W better than Z, right? Everyone. So this is like 11. So W always beats Z. Right? Yeah. Okay. How about X versus Y? Okay. This is 3, another 3, this is X, 5 minus X, right? So this is 6, this is 5. So no matter what X is, X beats Y. Okay. X versus Z. 3 votes here. 3 votes here. X here. And then 5 minus X. So this is 3 plus X. This is 8 minus X. So I don't know between X and Z. And finally we have Y and Z. How many people for Y? So Z is 3, right? And that's it. Yep. Everyone else votes for Y over Z, right? Y, 8. Okay, so Y beats it. All right. Okay, so can I implement? So I don't know about these two, but I know everything else. Can I implement something in regards to those things? I think I can. I see it. Can you see it? And then I can make a chain which doesn't depend on this. Well, what would it be? W, right? So even if I don't know about this and this, but I know that W beats X, and then X beats Y, Y beats C. So therefore, this will implement no matter what X is. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. The answers on exam, yeah? Okay. Well, maybe let me just sort of say, again, please do not be late in the final. I can't make any special dispensations. If you're an hour late for the final, I cannot give you an extra hour because I'm leaving. I'm all got out of there. Please show up in time. Please know the location, yes? Yeah, it's in Broad Art Building. You know, it's north of Bunch. It's in the email. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
For this one,
Yeah.
I got like all of them can win still.
Really?
Yeah.
But some of them, like between W and Y. Well, you have Y beats W, right?
WW. Oh, because I was assuming that's why you can't assume this one either.
Yeah.
So isn't it like 3 hours? How long is the final?
3 hours.
When we get all 3 hours?
Yeah.
And also, so you're saying if I was able to do everything we just did, I'll probably pass, you think?
I think so. Yeah. But the other ones are not that hard. That's the thing.
Better,
Yeah. I mean,
The stuff from the midterm should be pretty easy.
yeah.
We've been working on it
How did you do? Okay in the midterm?
I didn't do that well, but like I've been like,
Okay.
studying a lot.
Yeah. You should be okay.
Alright,
Sure.